Hi, today I'm going to discuss what you need to do to ensure that you are completely compliant with the Basic Conditions of Employment Act and the Labour Act when you're employing new employees at your business. We'll do a separate vlog on what you need for your domestic employees, but today's focus is really what is it that I need to put in place when I'm hiring a new employee to work at my business premises. A client of mine recently received this letter. It's a letter from the Department of Labour alerting her of an imminent inspection at her business premises. This particular client is a dentist and has a receptionist and an assistant who helps her in her practice as a dental assistant and a dental hygienist. So what she wanted to know is, what does she need to do? What should she have done when this employee started working for her? The very first thing you need is an employment agreement with every employee who works for you. Now, I know that sounds quite challenging and you don't want to rush off to your local law firm, and it will be very expensive, but don't worry, it's not that hard. You can simply step through the interview on the Law Unlocked website. It'll take you 15 minutes and it'll cost you less than 10% of what a lawyer would charge you. We'll also make sure that you're completely covered in terms of the conditions applied in the Basic Conditions of Employment Act, and that all minimum wage legislation is complied with as well. So after you've gotten your employment agreement in place, what do you need next? You need to keep a copy of the Basic Conditions of Employment Act at your business premises. Yes, everybody needs to do that. That's why you've often seen those big posters up on the walls, whether it's a dental practice, a doctor's rooms, or any kind of fish and chip shop, really. So you can either have the big poster posted up somewhere, but obviously that's not always, doesn't look that great. So just get a copy of the Act that you can keep in a desk drawer. You can buy that Act at Van Schaik's or P&A or most good stationery shops, or you can just download it from the Department of Labour's website. They've got a couple of great resources there and it's really helpful. So download it, print it, make sure everybody in the office knows where it is, and keep it in someone's drawer. Or you can get the big poster if you think that's more appropriate. Then, of course, and I hope you've been doing this already, you need to make sure that you're paying pay-as-you-earn tax and unemployment insurance fund tax. It's really, really important, and you can't mess that up. It's a criminal sanction if you do. In addition to that, you need to pay for your Compensation Occupational Injuries and Diseases Act contributions. This is something that's often forgotten about. It's called COID, and you need to make sure that you're registered and that you're paying your contributions monthly. In addition to the things that you need to do, so you need to keep a copy of the employment agreement with that employee. It needs to be up to date, so you do addendums every time you change the hours or their remuneration rates. You keep a copy of the Act somewhere in the office where everybody knows where it is. You need to make sure that you've registered for PAYE, UIF, and COID contributions. So you've done all of that. Now what do you need to do? You need to keep an attendance register. You need to keep an up-to-date list of all the names of employees containing their ID numbers, their COID registration numbers, SARS registration numbers, and UIF registration numbers, as well as the applicable wage rates. Best to update this every time the wage rates change. In addition to all of this, comprehensive information about remuneration. Remember to keep track of overtime, overtime pay, overtime hours. All of this needs to be kept in a register that's easily accessible. All proofs of payments to UIF, COID, PAYE, all of these proofs of payment should be kept. So make sure that you have a file somewhere where you're keeping all of this information, so that if the Department of Labour sends you this letter, you know where everything is and there's no running around to make sure that you comply. It's really easy and simple. Just do it from the start. Thanks.